Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stan Morrison, and I'm your host for this virtual gala at La Sierra University, and I'm proud to be here as your host. I want to give you some names very quickly. Victoria Schumacher, Gary Huffaker, Libet Munoz Beard, Elaine Hegstad, and Robert Nelson have already begun their giving process for this evening. They understand what this is about. And that is something I want to share with you very quickly. We have a purpose here, and it's for our scholarship fund at La Sierra University. For this magnificent music department, you don't have football, but you have the national champions music department, and there's no one that loves it more than me. And that's why I'm here. We're here to help more students gain access to excellence in music education while studying at a safe Christian environment. And that's exactly what La Sierra University is about. The goal for this evening is $50,000, and we can do that with your help. Think about this for a moment. In the giving day, last Wednesday, $30,000, $10,000 more than the goal was raised because people love this university and understand what giving can do for the young people who walk across this campus every single day or have to do it virtually, but they're here as a part of this institution. I would like to acknowledge the generous and truly generous support and thank, first of all, the Motschiedler brand family and Barbara Favorito for their wonderful sponsorship of this evening's event. Also, I want to make sure that you all have the key word for getting online, and that is Text Music Gala 2020. And the number that you want is 41444. One more time, Text Music Gala 2020, and the number is 41444. During the time that we have here, I want to remind you of all the things that bring us joy. And our next performer, Hannah Chang, will bring us joy and share with us what brings her joy in her presentation of I'll get it right, Je veux vivre. Je veux vivre, written by Charles Gounod. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hannah Chang.
Je veux I started playing the violin when I was 4 years old. I started taking lessons from a friend who recommended it to my mom, who was like, have your daughter play the violin, it seems like a nice instrument. And my mom was kind of just going with it, and so I started playing when I was 4. And ever since then, that's kind of been my prime, because I've been taking lessons from the director of string studies here, who is Juliana. I've been taking lessons with him ever since I was a freshman in high school. So I've known him for quite a while, and I've known the connection he's had with La Sierra, so I've been aware of La Sierra Music Department for quite a while now. And that's how I started to get involved here. I started playing in HMA for recitals. I actually performed in the competition they have for high schoolers. I performed that in 2016 and 2017. So I've been here for quite a while, even in high school. So I wanted to learn violin in college, mainly because I kind of have this unbreakable bond with the violin at this point. I've been learning violin since I was 4 years old. So at this point, it's really become a part of my life. So when I came to college, I obviously still had this passion for music. And so one of the options that was presented here at La Sierra was the opportunity to study music and to study the violin specifically. So I took that opportunity, and I decided to continue studying music in college, because I didn't want to let that passion go to waste. Most memorable experiences here at the La Sierra Music Department has been playing at the concerto competition back in 2019 and placing in it and being able to do a solo performance with the orchestra here. So I got to meet Midori Goto. She's an incredible violinist, for those of you who don't know. She is absolutely amazing. And I got to meet her during my freshman year through my professor, Jason Juliana. And I also got to perform in one of her festivals. So my other major is neuroscience, and I think music and neuroscience really do have a nice complementation. They really do go well together, mainly because music is such a huge part of mental health. There's this specific area that is designated to mix music and mental health together, and that's called music therapy. And I've been actually looking at that for quite a while now and seeing whether that would be something that I would want to pursue as maybe a secondary health profession aside from working in specifically healthcare. But I do want to continue mixing music into my future career path. One of the reasons that I am at La Sierra is because of that financial assistance. And without that financial assistance, if I were to be completely honest, I probably wouldn't even be able to be here. It's definitely a huge sum of money that we do have to pay as college students, but because of the generosity of the department, because of that financial assistance, that's primarily the reason why I'm actually here. So when you support the La Sierra Music Department, you're not only supporting college students who are trying to pay their tuition or paying off their finances to be here to study, you're also paving the way for future musicians, future world changers, people like myself who will make an impact in the society that they will be in and the people around them. I just want to say thank you so much for your donation, for your contribution to the music department. It has helped me be able to study here, to experience the opportunities La Sierra is able to give to us as music students. And with that, I cannot thank you enough for helping me experience that, for helping me realize my passion for music even more, for helping me realize my other future goals and helping me carve my future career path. So with that being said, thank you so much again for your donation and for the money you give to us as music students. We really appreciate it.
From Hannah Chang to Emily, we have seen and we have heard the kind of talent and the kind of deep thought that goes into being a student at a university like La Sierra that allows young people to be as good as they can possibly be in more than one area. Their academic expertise is dramatic, and their talent, their gift that they share with all of us is even more dramatic. Emily is really, really special, and I'm so very impressed with Hannah as singing there on the balcony, and I'm wondering what the neighbors were thinking was going on next door. It was beautiful. That was truly beautiful. Now, I don't know if we're going to do a thermometer check-in quite yet, but maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of looking around, and we're going to be doing a thermometer to see how we're doing. But let me tell you about some of the things that are moving that thermometer. When I say things, I'm talking about people. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Robert Nelson and Margot Speyer and Ruben Tejada and Janet Smith. And that was Tejada, not Tejada. Ruben. Thank you, Ruben. And thanks to all of you for coming through and giving to this wonderful university. And I don't know if you're alumni or if you're people in our community or if you're in another state, but the fact that you understand what you are doing in terms of assisting young people with their scholarship needs, that's very, very real. Supporting scholarships does impact student lives. Trust me, I'm a guy, I could not have gone to college if I hadn't been real tall and fast and jump high to play basketball where I went to school. And that's really something that's very important. We never talked about going to a university because we couldn't afford it. But my university made that happen. And that's what we're trying to do for other young people. They have a wonderful work ethic, but many students are having to work a job in order to survive to the detriment of their studies. And we don't want that. We want to take that brick off their shoulders to assist them in being all that they can be as students and certainly as musicians and performers. Gifts of all sizes are welcome. It doesn't have to be just a couple of bucks, or it doesn't have to be just 100. It can be 2, 3, 5. It can be $1,000. It can be what you feel comfortable doing. And trust me when I say this, you can give more than once during this entire gala. Yes, people get turned on by what you see, get excited by these young people and their performance, and you can be helping them to make it happen. With that, understand this, that the undergraduate tuition is $43,000 a year. Performance certificate tuition is $7,440 a year. And it may include additional fees such as ESL, English Second Language classes. The average scholarship awarded to music students ranges from $1,000 to $6.5 thousand. Your gift will help ease the financial burden and allow students to focus on their purpose to practice, their purpose to perform music. And we're looking for that to happen right now as we move into our next phase of our program here. And it will be a short chair report pardon me, wrong page. It will be a performance of Let It Snow. No. Nathaniel Fratianni playing the piano. He's from the class of 2019, the Christmas song by Wycliffe Jean.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, oh, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Oh, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, oh, let it snow, 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 let it snow. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, oh, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Oh, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, oh, let it snow, 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 let it snow.
And let it snow. Something we haven't seen in a long time here in Riverside, but that's okay. We are in the spirit of the season, and we're glad to be back with you again. We're so glad that we had some people got very excited and gave to this entire scholarship fund in a wonderful way. Let me tell you about them. Annette Goldhammer Beals. Loida Bolivar Leon. Hello, Loida, good to see you. Lindsay Langsberg, and the chair of the music department, Dr. Dean Anderson. Talk about taking it out of one pocket and putting it in the other. I love that kind of spirit, and that's what this is all about. It's the spirit that La Sierra University gives through their students and through their music and through their wonderful performances. When you support music at La Sierra University, you're impacting not only the students, but the wider community, people like me. I was invited to this magnificent church to a Christmas concert a few years ago by Dr. Garrity and Jillian, his wife, and I couldn't believe the experience that I had. And I haven't missed one since until this year. And that's why we're all sitting here doing it virtually. The community members feel the same way. And I have some quotes for you that were written shortly after the performances by the La Sierra students to the Sound of Music this past March. Quote, "Thank you, La Sierra University Department of Music, for bringing happiness in music to so many people. We're all looking forward to again seeing live performances from HMA, Whole Memorial Auditorium, as you all know, as well as streamed concerts. My sister and I have been watching the free Metropolitan Opera streams this spring, but those productions are not based right here in Riverside, like your concerts, recitals, operas, and musicals. Thanks again." And that came from Richard Brown here in Riverside. Or at the recent 73rd Candlelight Concert, Impact on Riverside, students perform across Southern California and alumni performing around the world. You are touching lives around the globe when you give to La Sierra University Music. Don't forget that. You're impacting young people who come here from everywhere. Help of each of us and help us in this program this evening toward our goal of $50,000. Now think about that for a moment. And there are people out there who are listening to me right now who fully understand that they can make great impact on that goal. And your head will hit the pillow tonight, and you will have changed the lives of young people coming to this university. Once again, from all over the world. So you can text music 2020, and your number is 41444. Once again, text music Gala 2020 and go to 41444, or click the link in the description that's below there on your screen. I would like to acknowledge another sponsor, if I may. The leader of this great university, this wonderful president. I introduced her once to Bill Walton, the great NBA and college basketball player, a dear friend of mine. And I introduced her as President Joy. And Bill went crazy. He loved it. Can you imagine, he said, a president named Joy. And that's what we have at our university. I want to thank Joy Fehr, President Joy Fehr, for supporting the Department of Music through her sponsorship. Let's hear from Dr. Fehr why she believes that you should support music at her university, La Sierra University.
Good evening, friends and supporters of our music department. I'm delighted that you've joined us this evening for our gala. It's a gala like none other. Who knew that we would be hosting online, that we wouldn't be able to meet in person because of the pandemic? But I'm delighted that we've pushed forward, that we're doing so regardless of the circumstances in which we find ourselves. Why? Because music is vital for our lives. It's vital for our overall health and well-being. Our talented faculty, our gifted students are continuing to learn and grow, to make and share music with us in the midst of this challenging time, because it's vital for us to be able to continue to exercise not only physically, but mentally as well. Music grows our attention, it grows our memory, it encourages us to have better and greater mental health. And so here we are, listening to beautiful music, enjoying the sounds of this Christmas season, but also growing our health and well-being as a result. So, I know that you've heard already some of the amazing things that are happening in our music department, and you will hear more as we move throughout the rest of the program this evening. As you listen, as you're impressed, and as we realize together how vital music is to our lives, I encourage you to give. Give to our students, grow our scholarship program, and thereby support the incredible music program that La Sierra University provides. I'm just thrilled to be a part of what we do here at La Sierra University, and in particular, our music department. So join me this evening in not only listening and appreciating, but ensuring that our music department and our students in particular are able to continue to grow and thereby make our lives better as a result. Thank you so much for your continued support.
The first question I have for you, Maestro, is just briefly, how did you first come in contact with La Sierra University?
I got a letter from the Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Vernon Koenig. And he wrote on behalf of the choir director of La Sierra and Loma Linda, who was an old student of mine. His name was Kurt Kane, by the way.
Okay.
Baioni. A great Adventist family in Norway, with several pastors in the family and teachers. And he later became even my student at the Royal Conservatory in Stockholm in conducting. He was a great enthusiast, and he was choir director at La Malinda. And he was appalled at the low standards of most music at the university. So he got the crazy idea that they should invite me to come and do some teaching at La Sierra, just to put something in motion. It was a wild idea. Of course, I also questioned it, you know, what conducting masterclass in La Sierra, right out in the desert. Who will go there to study serious music? But I couldn't say no, so I came, and that was in 1970. So I understood that I had some sort of mission when I came to La Sierra. And it was amazing. They put together an orchestra because you cannot teach conducting with conducting pianos. So we have an orchestra of some 40 players that were quite okay. It was good enough for the students. Truly got good players that were the training orchestra for the young conductors. Some were Adventists. Most of them were not Adventists, but that doesn't matter to me. Main thing was that La Sierra became a center for serious music.
You established the Herbert Blomstedt Endowment Scholarship at La Sierra. What was some of the reasons for choosing to establish that? Many students along the years have benefited from that endowment, but we are so honored to have that endowment named after you. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose to establish that at La Sierra?
I don't remember really how it started. I searched my memory. I cannot remember how it started.
Okay.
But of course, the idea is great. The students, they need money. Most of them are not very well-to-do. And they also need not only money, they also need some ideals, you know. They need to know that there are also Adventist young people that are dedicated to music, not only within the church, but in the world. Because Adventists should not only serve in their own church, they should serve everybody, serve the community. And they should strive to be the best ones.
What would you say are like the top 3 ideals or things that you would like us to continue? The values that you hold very dear that you would like the department to strive for for the next generations to come.
In the arts, music, in painting, and so on. Here we have really to be creative. And go into depth. That with not only the object is not to make every student an expert in music or history, but to educate our aesthetic concept, that we are able to judge new trends in the world, you know, according to aesthetic principles.
So I'm hearing you say the constant search for truth, researching, creative, to provide opportunities for our students to continuously apply their critical thinking skills to not only the music and humanities, but in their world in general, to constantly have that inquisitive and curious mind is something that we want to continue as part of our program. I have just one final question for you, Maestro, and then I'll let you go. Thank you so much again for your time. Just one final thought of why you believe that people should support music at La Sierra University? Why should they give their support to our program?
Music and also the other arts, you study it, it trains the mind to think about proportions, about harmonies, why things fit so well together and why they don't fit together.
Yes.
Aesthetic possibility of aesthetic judgment, I feel, is mostly absent in Adventist people because they are not studying art. Because art is the way where you can understand proportions. You can learn it, of course, in the Bible, in the moral teachings of the Bible. Of course, that's the perfect teacher. But also in literature, in music, in painting, you can understand why things work so beautiful together. Why is it? And this education, the mind, and that is what I would like La Sierra to be at the front of this. In order to do that, the music teaching has to be at a high level as possible to attract the students, and so they can get the best out of their study. And that costs money.
Yeah.
So that's why we support it.
Maestro, thank you so much. This is so inspiring. I'm so honored every time, and I feel so inspired every time I hear you talk about music and life and how our spiritual world and our spiritual lives grow because of it, and how it all works together.
That's about as beautiful as an orchestra can be when they're socially distanced and wearing masks. And I'm so proud to hear such beautiful, beautiful music. I hope you feel the same way. I think something that is really important for everyone to understand is that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to make this virtual gala possible. I've got Paul here. I've got his trusty assistant. Don't move an inch. Juliana. I'm sorry, I almost called her Emily. Juliana. What a wonderful job they're doing behind the scenes, as is everyone else. And more important than that is the behind the scenes work of many of our donors today. This is wonderful. I got a new list of some people who just gave. Kimberly Thomas. How about Dr. Elvin Rodriguez, former chair of the Department of Music, brilliant on the piano, and a brilliant accordion player. And a lot of people don't even know what an accordion is. And I know the students at La Sierra University absolutely knew, and they love him when he plays it. It's a great time. He's also very active on our chats here and with the emojis. He's terrific. But matching him emoji for emoji and chat for chat is Dr. Sheldon Lee, the brilliant professor and the brilliant singer here at La Sierra University, who lends so much of herself, of her own experience, in her teaching ability to the young people who come here in voice. I think that our alumni are evidence of excellence in music and education offered here at La Sierra University. We all know that, okay? Alumni success supported in part by generous gifts of donors who believe in the unique advantages that come with studying music at this wonderful university, La Sierra University. The next time you're by campus, if you haven't been here for a while, go to the gate. This will have to be after the pandemic, and then you'll stop there at the kiosk and tell them Stan sent you, okay? Now that won't get you on any easier, but just tell them Stan sent you, because I'm sending you to drive on campus to see the new buildings if you haven't been here for a while, but more importantly, to see the beautiful campus and see these young people walk on this campus. There is an air on this campus that is so incredibly special. It is a spiritual air, and it's very real, and you can touch it just as it touches our students. Now I'd like to check on our thermometer, see how we're doing. The thermometer hasn't popped up, and so that's okay. Oh, there it is. And so right now we're up to $12,034. That's terrific. So we made a jump from where we started, but we've got to get more. Our goal is $50,000. And with that, I'd like to give you a little tip on how we can get this done quickly. Very simply, when you fill out a check, or you do this online and you put in the number of your donation, just add a zero. Zero is nothing. So just write your number and add a zero, and that's a great way to give it, and we'll get to that $50,000 in no time at all. I think it's so important that we understand it, and I want to give a sponsor acknowledgement to a wonderful couple who have donated their generous support for this evening's concert. That would be Robert and Kathleen Dunn. And in fact, Kathleen is so caught up in this entire thing. She's a great chat person too. She absolutely loved hearing from the people who have been speaking, from the students, the professors. That's the kind of spirit we need. And I suspect very strongly that Robert and Kathleen are not done for the evening. There's nothing that says you can't do it twice. And twice means that you are doubling up your influence and doubling up your support and doubling up your love for La Sierra University. And so with that, let's hear from some of our alumni.
Receiving a scholarship from La Sierra University changed everything because it was the only way that I could ever be there. And this experience changed my life, both in music and everything else related to life.
Receiving music scholarships at La Sierra University was such an encouragement to me. It let me know that music was my true calling, and it enabled me to practice and study more since I was taking a full course load.
Receiving my scholarship made all the difference for me because it encouraged me to spend that energy that I would otherwise be worried about in terms of finances and spend that energy to really focus on learning music and making a difference in my community and sharing that music with everybody.
The way that I was able to receive scholarships through the music department of La Sierra was by being in groups like chorale, chamber singers, and United. Because I was in all these groups, I was able to perform so much music and the variety of it and meet people that I never would have met before, be in environments and absorb all of that information, and it prepared me for the years ahead as I am now a professional musician.
Since I've graduated from La Sierra University, I've gone into the Lamont School of Music at the University of Denver, where I'm pursuing a master's in violin and clarinet performance and a Suzuki teaching certificate.
So after I graduated, I actually continued to study the violin for another year, and I got a performance certificate degree at La Sierra as well. During that year, I did a lot of teaching, so that was really cool to do, and I got to perform with really awesome musicians, and I had a lot of performance opportunities during that year. And then I went off to Loma Linda University for medical school, and now I'm getting ready to graduate, and I applied to psychiatry, a field which I absolutely love, and I see so much similarity between psychiatry and music.
After graduating from La Sierra, I came to Rotterdam in the Netherlands to a school called Codarts, and I'm doing my master's in clarinet performance.
The first 5 years after graduating La Sierra has been a whirlwind. I was fortunate enough to be able to use the arts as soon as I graduated, and the first 5 years was dedicated to a nonprofit organization founded by Javier Gonzalez and myself, and we used the arts to bring awareness and aid to Christian refugees in the Middle East who have been persecuted for their faith by ISIS. Aside from that, I have been able to perform with prolific performers like Steve Green, and recently in Dubai with Jamie George. And right before COVID shutdown happened, I was able to direct The Sound of Music on the very stage that I was able to perform as Maria. How many people can say that they've done that? So I feel immensely blessed. Right now, I am dedicating my time to build my vocal studio here in Loma Linda, California.
I just want to say thanks to everyone who made it possible. Thank you for always having my back, and thank you for being there when I needed it the most, even when I was asking more. So thank you very much for make this experience possible.
Thank you so much to the donors who made it possible for me to attend La Sierra University Music Department. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to achieve my dreams. Please consider doing the same for a student like me. Thank you.
To the donors who made my scholarship possible, thank you so much, because you have contributed to not only my growth as a musician, but also my future as a physician, and I hope to make a great difference in the world thanks to you.
For the people that decided to be generous and give to the music department and support college students like I was, I appreciate you. You are the frontliners of our cheerleading squad, telling us that our ministry matters, that how we express in music matters, that even though we may not all speak the same language and that we may not all have the same background, we all can connect through music, and you have supported that. It is priceless, and I appreciate you, and I thank God for you. Without you, I would not be here today. Without you, I would not have been able to sing in front of thousands of people. Thank you. You have given me a priceless gift.
It was dark, cold, maybe snowing, and the stars were late to show, and the world seemed unaware of the birth of a baby boy. But then the skies were filled with glory, and the angels sang for joy, for they heard most heavenly music in the cry of a baby boy. What a miracle and wonder, what a mystery, what a joy, that this baby's first night's crying was a song of hope for all, and the skies were filled with glory, and the angels sang for joy, for they heard most heavenly music in the cry of a baby boy. And the heavens looked in wonder, and the star lit up and glowed, for in Bethlehem was crying little baby Christ the Lord. When you hear a baby crying, when you see a baby boy, don't forget you see and listen to a heavenly sent new joy, and the skies were filled with glory, and the angels sang for joy, for they heard most heavenly music in the cry of a baby boy. And the heavens looked in wonder, and a star lit up and glowed, for in Bethlehem was crying little baby Christ the Lord. For in Bethlehem he's crying little baby Christ the
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all thank Anthony Leon. Let's all thank Dr. Quintana, who accompanied him on the piano. And let's thank Thomas Kim, two graduates Kim and Leon, the class of 2019. Talk about talent. Talk about gifts. Talk about people who are going to be out there on marquees in our country. One day, when I was a kid, we would drive into Las Vegas, and it would just say one word on a billboard, Frank. You knew who that was. And Dean, you knew who that was. And Sammy, you knew who that was. One day you're going to drive into Las Vegas and you're going to see Anthony. And everybody at La Sierra University knows who that is. I'm so thrilled. My good friend Anthony dropped me a text earlier this evening. And I'm so thrilled to see him, to hear from him, and to have a chance to hug him from a distance. What a wonderful performer, what a wonderful representative of this university, as are all of our alumni and all of the young people who sing and play and perform in our community and in other communities in other parts of the world. That's La Sierra University. You should be so proud to know that. I think up and coming stars are there in our current students as well. We're seeing that. We've heard from Sheldon and Hannah and Emily. And when you give, you're supporting students' efforts to become the best musicians they can be, and through their talent to touch the world. And the world needs to be touched. And there are very few ways that people can touch other people than through music. We want to hear from a couple more of our current students, including an international student whose dreams are coming true thanks to your support of the Scholarship Fund. But first, let me tell you about some more people who are giving to our Scholarship Fund. Kimberly Thomas, Gail and Richard Rice, Wendell Wetstein, and Trace Wong, an alum. And Trace was brilliant, and we know his career can go in 14 directions because he's that talented academically as well as a performer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from some more of our students.
When I was 3 years old, my father started helping me practice and memorize songs to perform at church. So I also had a piano and guitar, and he would teach me a couple of little songs at the beginning. Then when I got to middle school, I started with band at the Adventist Academy. They introduced into the curriculum this class of band, so I started taking trumpet lessons, and then later on I started playing in brass quintets in the brass ensemble. When I got to high school, somebody told me to think of an activity that I will do for free, that I will do without getting paid for it, and then if I could find somebody to pay me for that, that should be the path that I should take. And then I thought of music because my life was filled with music already. I started to study at La Sierra because the music program at La Sierra is well connected. The alumni network is high standing because also the opportunities that we have being close to LA, we are able to take lessons with these LA recording studio artists. Also being here at La Sierra, my teacher, he has a lot of recordings, and we've been invited to go to these recordings. We had been to Warner Brothers Studios to be able to listen how you record a movie soundtrack. We've been able to go to this big band recording from, recording for a video game, and being able to meet one of the legends of trumpet jazz playing. Receiving a scholarship at La Sierra changed everything for me. Probably, I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't get a scholarship, because in visa restrictions, I was only to work here, and that was very limiting. So since I got this scholarship, I'm able to work, to have these 20 hours a week and be able to work on my trumpet solo repertoire, to work with the orchestra, with the wind ensemble, with the jazz ensemble, and I'm able to practice and get better, and also help the music department to be better in their concerts. I want to be a music professor at Adventist University and able to teach and also get my students connected to professional work. Being an international student from Mexico, Mexico is a third world country, so it's very hard to have this high quality education. So being able to study here and study to La Sierra, closer to one of the main cities in the US, is very important, and it has been beneficial for me to be able to make these connections, to get these experiences, and to be able to be a better musician, a better professor. And so in the future, when I had to teach and connect my students with other people, I will be able to have, I have these friends in LA, you can go here, you can go there. So I think that's very important. Thank you, because your contribution changed my life. It has helped me to get closer to my dreams, to fulfill and to be able to be a professional and to be able to practice more.
Welcome back. And Ricardo, Reyna, gracias por todo. Eres un campeón de música, señor. Muy gracioso. What a nice young man. And how eloquently he told everyone who was listening how proud he is to be at this university and the impact that all of the assistance he's gotten from alumni and people who really care have given him this incredible opportunity. And he said it so very beautifully. You're helping Ricardo and his dreams to come true. Is there anything more noble that we can do for young people than to assist them in their educational goals? There are very few things that I can think of. You can fulfill the dreams of more students by helping us reach our goal of $50,000 tonight. And I've got some more names of people who are trying to push us toward that goal. Holly Yanemoto, Jeffrey Brand, Ed and Belita Motschiedler, Brenda and Craig Moore, and Giovanni and Tanya Santos. If it sounds like we have a diverse following, you're right. And we have a diverse campus. And we have a diverse group of young people who can sing and who can play musical instruments like very few universities in our country. And we share them with the world. We literally share them with the world. I want to, one more time, to give you this Text Music Gala 2020, Text Music Gala 2020 to 41444, 41444 to give now. I want to thank all of you for your generosity and your support. You're making an enormous difference in the lives of our students. I want to thank Dr. Joy Fehr for joining us this evening and delivering her beautiful message as she always does. And I want to thank the young students and the alumni, and I want to thank everyone who participated in making this virtual gala a reality. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say Merry Christmas to every single one of you. Bring joy to our lives. Bring joy to the lives of young people who walk this campus. And bring joy to your own family by giving to La Sierra University. Thank you so very much.